More on those stories in a while. Now, though, it's time for E24. That's with Andy May.
Hello, good evening. Red Nose Day is fast approaching and, as usual, a load of celebs have been lined up to entertain us and try and make up some cash as well. The official launch was earlier today with the likes of Cheryl Cole, Fern Cotton and Gary Barlow all there. After £40 million was banked 2 years ago, it's hoped even more will be made this time around for charity. Our entertainment correspondent Lizo Mazimba was at the launch. Lizo, what's happening this year then?
Oh, it was Showbiz Central, and of course everything that you expect is happening this year. The celebrities doing bizarre things. A load of them are climbing Mount Kilimanjaro for a special comic relief documentary that's going on. You've got the usual things like special celebrity editions for comic relief of well-loved programmes like 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps and The Apprentice. I'm afraid there is no celebrity edition or jam-packed fun edition of E24, I'm afraid, because we're hysterical enough every evening, so who needs that? But, of course, the one thing that you always have is a #1 single from the comic relief team. This year, they're hoping to get that with a single from Rob Brydon and Nessa from Gavin and Stacey. And they've been teaming up with Tom Jones himself. Ooh.
Somebody told me he's not had a #1 single for 43 years. I found that quite hard to believe, but if he does get to #1 with us, I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's just brilliant. He's so good on the song. I mean, he comes in he comes in the video. There's a story to the video which people will see when it's released, and he makes a great entrance. And obviously, his singing is just out of this world.
And he was such fun to work with because, you know, he obviously when you meet this kind of legend, you know, I was nervous. I mean, you'd met him before, but you were still quite sort of nervous, weren't you, about what's he going to be like? And do you know what? He was so down to earth. He was like a real haunty guy.
Two popular guys there. Who else is going to be taking part this year?
Well, who says there's a credit crunch on? Because this year we have not one but two special Red Nose Day songs. The other comes from one of Britain's biggest girl bands, the Saturdays. Now, they're performing a cover of Depeche Mode's classic Just Can't Get Enough, and I'm pretty convinced none of them were actually alive when that was a hit the first time around. But not only were they terribly excited, of course, to meet me, but they were terribly excited to be involved with comic relief in the first place.
So cool. I always remember, like, my family and I would, like, all sit around together and watch it, like the Spice Girls and McFly and Girls Aloud, and it's just so cool that we're actually going to be on it now. Like, my family are just like, woo, it's so cool.
I remember going into school all wearing red and, like, donating a pound or something. And having a cake sandwich. And they're so much cooler now.
Very excited. The aim of the game is the money, though. How much are they hoping to raise this year?
Well, I think they'll be hoping to beat the last total, which was around the 40 million mark. And if they do that, it'll take the total raised by Comic Relief the last 11 to something over £450 million. So I think they'll be hoping to actually get somewhere in that particular region. But, of course, we are in very difficult financial circumstances at the moment. I spoke to one of the founders of Comic Relief, the writer, comedian, director Richard Curtis, and I actually asked him specifically if he was worried that people would actually give less this time around because of what we're going through in the economy.
Well, do you know, there's an argument that it works the other way around, that actually as people feel the pinch themselves when they watch documentaries on the night, they think to themselves, actually, I really get what's going on there. We never have found, it's not the richest parts of the UK that give the most money on Red Nose Day, so I'm hoping that isn't the case. I mean, I'm praying so, because I do think when times get hard, it's people with the hardest lives for whom they get hardest, you know.
Well, I know Children in Need did quite well in November. I think that was another record-breaking year, wasn't it?
Yes, and of course the recession was just about beginning to kick in many people's minds about then. So they're hopeful that this trend will actually continue, and this year they'll break the total from 2 years ago, because of course it alternates every year with Sport Relief. And the great thing that they were telling me about today is that because they've now been going so long, it has a kind of internal momentum, and people who've grown up Comic Relief now automatically want to get involved when they become sort of, you know, huge comedians or big comedy stars. or musicians, whether it's people like the Saturdays, the cast of Gavin and Stacey, all those kind of people just come through. And of course we have to do comic relief, so they get the very best of British comic talent, and they hope that together with all the other events they've got going on will actually give them a record-breaking total for Comic Relief Day, which happens on, let me just check, 13th of March 2009.
Excellent. Hopefully loads of money. If you want more information, you can go online, bbc.co.uk/news. Thank you, Lizo. You're watching E24 on BBC News. Some other showbiz stories around today now, and a man's been seriously injured on the set of the latest Harry Potter film. Paramedics were called to Leavesden Studios near Watford, where Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows is in production. There are reports it was Daniel Radcliffe's stunt double. The film company Warner Brothers say they won't comment, though, out of respect for his family. The BBC's confirmed that stars' salaries will be reduced when their contracts next come up for renewal. A spokeswoman said presenters' fees were influenced by market conditions which had clearly changed due to the global financial crisis. Madonna's confirmed she's to restart her popular Sticky and Sweet tour, playing new dates in Europe. Her website says Madge is looking forward to hitting the cities she didn't get a chance to see in 2008. And next month, Gareth Gates will be Joseph. He's taking over from Lee Mead in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat in London's West End. The pop idol star told BBC Breakfast he's doing all the necessary preparations.
I've been in the gym a lot as I have to wear that loincloth, which scared me a lot.
Well, do you have to get a six-pack together?
Yeah, but the six-pack's all right, in fact. Now.
Well, I'm sure. He says rather proudly.
So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the part, though.
Yeah, which are the bits that scare you? When you saw Lee Mead doing your stuff and were clocking different things, think, right, I've got to work on that and I've got to work on this.
Yeah, well, the loincloth, I think, is the most terrifying part of the show. It's very, very short, and that's the only thing you wear for 80% of the show.
You see, you're so confident about the singing that it's actually only the loincloth that bothers you.
Yeah, the very reason why I got into music was because of Joseph. And at the age of 8, I did it at first school. I played the part of Joseph, and so I know all the songs.
Very familiar territory to you then.
Yeah, so that side of things is fine.
Gareth Gates there, talking to Bill and Sean on BBC Breakfast. That's all your entertainment news for now. I'm back just after 9:30. Back over to you, Matthew.
Andy, see you then. Time to round up the day's business news. Rachel Horn is back. Rachel.
Thanks, Matthew. Shell has made one of the biggest profits in corporate history.